Hello, this is Armbar Audio. I'm your host, Tim Farley. And next to me is my trusted companion,
John Kearns. What's up, everybody?
Tonight we're going to be discussing the WWE Superstar Shakeup. But first, we're going to talk about this weekend's Worlds Collide special event on WWE Network with the NXT going against NXT alumni. John, you watched
Media Access event over this over the first full weekend of April. We had 4 matches. They were all pretty decent. The first one we got was Cassius Ohno going up against Aiden English. The lights kind of... Is it better? Is it worse? Better?
It's all right. Just looks like you're angelic.
Yeah, I'm getting glare. Focus. Okay. So the first match we had was Cassius Ohno versus Aiden English. Cassius is really perfecting his heel role because his trash talk was hilarious during this. Did you watch that?
Yes.
Come
get your boy.
You're like, you look pretty tough for someone who's just a commentator. Hey, Percy and Byron, come get your boy.
Yeah.
Cassius was being very aggressive throughout the match. English mounted almost no offense, but he did get one good move. He got a big swanton bomb off on Cassius. But
at the beginning, he got some good strikes.
Yeah. But eventually, Cassius picked up the win with the knockdown, drag-out slugfest. Luke Harper picks up a clean win. The two struck hands after the match, and Harper raised Dijakovic's hand.
It was a great match.
Very
fantastic match.
We had a tag team match. We had representing Sanity, Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf versus really Killian Dane, bringing the big man action we've been known to see. And Undisputed Era gains a victory here. The main event of this show was the one that everybody was talking about, Roderick Strong versus Prince Pretty Tyler Breeze, debuting his new look with a shorter haircut and more subdued gear overall.
This match, I feel like Tyler Breeze was just on a comeback the whole time.
Absolutely.
Roderick Strong kept putting him down, and Tyler just kept trying to mount offense, which he finally did. What do you got said there?
I had Breeze picked up the win with not the beauty shot, but pulling out an unprettier, which was awesome.
Yeah. He does look like Christian.
I said overall, pretty average show. A lot of good stuff, but it was mostly just something for the fans at Access to see that they decided to film for the network. Byron giving everybody an NXT history lesson throughout the show was really cool. And not sure why they were using the NXT UK ring skirts.
Oh, maybe they didn't have time to switch it up.
Very possible. But yeah, good stuff.
So that leads us into Raw.
Damn. Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night
Raw. Monday Night.
Stephanie McMahon comes down and introduces Shane to many boos. Stephanie says they love us here, making fun of how the crowd is booing. Good, because this is super annoying. You suck chance. Stephanie says everyone can be subject to being shaken up. Shane asks for some moments to be brought up on the Tron. A bunch of Miz and Miz Dad picks of, the feud. Stephanie introduces the first star, and it's the Miz who attacks Shane from behind. Miz hits Shane with a chair multiple times before Shane runs up the ramp. Miz stands tall while bleeding and holding a chair. The McMahons continue to be cringeworthy, but did a great job of putting badass Miz over on Raw. Would you agree, John?
Yeah. The badass Miz stuff is awesome to see, and I hope that it is more of what we get from him with his new role on Monday Night Raw.
We find out the mid-card world order of Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin will face Roman, Seth, and a mystery partner in the main event. Ricochet comes out for an 8-man tag match. Alistair comes out. They're teaming with Hawkins and Ryder to take on the Revival. And new to the Raw roster, current NXT Tag Champions, newly christened Ivor and Eric, the Viking Experience. A lot of good offense by Black and Ricochet, as commentary say they aren't sure if Ricochet and Black are set on Raw. The hits a kick off the post moonsault from the apron to the outside. Eric tags Ivar, and they hit the fallout on Ryder for the win. Okay, back and forth match with Black, Ricochet, Ryder, and Vikings looking good. Is this a ride?
Which one is which?
Ivor is Hansen.
Ivor's Hansen.
And Eric is Rowe.
It would make more sense for Eric to be Hansen. He's Eric's friend. But
Eric Rowan, Ray Rowe.
Yeah, true.
You know, it's weird. Is this a ride at Universal Studios, or as you said, a training camp facility for the Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah.
What is Vince thinking with this name? I understand maybe you can't say war on a PG show, but the creative team is being paid to do much better.
I saw a couple threads on Twitter and Facebook asking what better names could be, and one that I saw that I particularly enjoyed, if you can't use war, run with the Viking theme and call them the Norse Raiders.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
And that's all anyone who watched cared about during this match was the name of the War Raiders being changed. At least they still wrestle their style.
It left everybody in shock and awe.
Also, how do commentary not know where Ricochet and Black will land? If they're not on Raw, then don't have them on the show during the Superstar Shakeup.
Right.
What the hell? You know, like,
they were on
segment 3 is Finn Balor versus newly acquired Andrade with Zelina Vega. This was a really good back and forth match. Both got in most of their signature moves. Zelina made her presence known by getting in the way of a penalty kick and giving Finn a head scissors on the outside. At one point, Andrade did a cartwheel Pele kick. Andrade wins with the hammerlock DDT. Nice to see WWE establish Andrade early. And no, Finn didn't job. He wrestled a really good Raw match. By the way, how redundant is the extraordinary man who does extraordinary things? You don't have to separate the words, as the English language has made it into the exact former word in the statement.
Extraordinary.
Exactly. Segment 4 is Elias doing his thing. He plays part of the Undertaker theme. He says his music is so powerful it brought the Doctor of Thugonomics back and made a dead man rise.
True.
Elias says these legends interrupt him because WWE stands for Walk with Elias. He makes fun of the Canadians not making the NHL playoffs to huge boos. He tries to speak, but the boos continue. It's just like Seattle all over again. He says if anyone interrupts him, they will never be able to show their face again. Oh, I wonder who this could be. He starts to play, and a masked man by the name of Rey Mysterio comes out. Mysterio beats down Elias after nearly botching a springboard. Rey freak accident on Mysterio, and then a Liger bomb. Is Lars the new legend killer?
I think so.
I think so, too.
And I like it.
Segment 5, Team Glorious versus the Usos. Before Rude speaks on the mic, an Uso graphic comes on the screen, botched by the guys in the truck. They call out anyone and everyone.
Has big chompers on the graphic button.
And new to Raw, the Usos come out. Gable and Rude control most of the match till Rude eats a super kick, sending him off the apron, and Gable gets a double super kick, then a double splash, giving the Usos the win. This match was decent. It was nice to see Gable and Rude move more into their new heel rules, and seeing the Usos win on their Raw re-debut is a good thing, especially against a team with nothing to lose.
Let's get it, Us.
Moment of bliss with Sami Zayn. Sami comes out and the crowd sings his theme and cheers very loudly. The song plays again and the crowd still sings it, and Sami bows and gestures to get louder. The song plays a third time and the crowd still sings. Sami says some things in French and they all chant Sami and Ole. Sami says he loves this city but can't stand the people. Art, architecture, cuisine, but the people, the low point of his day is being in this room full of all of these people. The cheers make him sick. The fans chant something negative I couldn't understand because it was probably in French. Tells him his people aren't the problem, but that he is. He says they aren't his people. He doesn't even live there anymore and lives in sunny Orlando, much like Troll Jericho back in like 2012.
Yeah.
This is adding even more layers to Sami Zayn, and he's doing a great job at it. It was one of the high points of Raw for me.
Mm-hmm.
Segment 7 was a match between Bayley and Naomi against the Iconics. You could have blinked and missed this match. The women tag team champs deserve more time, even if they lose in an exhibition. They lost when Naomi hit a split-legged moonsault for the win. And I don't care what you say, the Iconics have great chemistry and are hilarious.
Yeah.
We get another
iconic.
That's right. We get another vignette of the B-horror movie like Buzzard popping out of a box with Bray laughing. What do you think about this, Sean?
I don't know what to think anymore. I think the ghost of Jim Henson has infected Bray Wyatt, and he's making creepy puppets now. That's what he does.
Or maybe he enlisted Tom Savini.
He's the puppet master. That could be a gimmick.
That could be a gimmick. Segment 8, Braun versus EC3. This was a mauling squash. 2 Beal throws, a corner splash, a throw into the LED board, then an Uranagi off the stage.
EC3 was just
through some table-like apparatus, no contest. Why squash EC3 when you haven't even built him up yet? I didn't get this. Like, I remember we talked about it, and you said EC3 sucks, but he has the body. He had the character and impact.
Yeah.
He also had Rockstar Spud, who is Drake Maverick, and apparently he's on the house shows with him. But why kill him?
Why not have that on Raw, though?
Yeah. Why is he getting killed by Braun Strowman for no reason? Doesn't make sense. Segment 9. Becky 2 Belts comes down for her match against Ruby Riott. They show us who's on Raw so far, which includes Sanity member Eric Young. Guess he couldn't make his flight to Montreal, or Vince just doesn't give a shit. Riott comes out with the squad.
Had apparently a lot of travel issues with this Raw that forced some rewrites.
Oh, okay.
Apparently Samoa Joe couldn't be in town for either show either. And he had a whole big segment on Raw that was supposed to happen.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I did not read that.
Yeah.
Good back and forth match. Ruby got some good offense in, including a trust fall onto Becky. Becky takes out the Riott squad with a splash and taps Ruby out with the disarmer. Becky thwarts the squad again after the match. Segment 10. The mid-card World Order are interviewed by Charlie. Caruso. Drew wants Roman. Corbin says just like he ran Angle out of the company, they'll run Roman and Seth off Raw. Leo Rush says after what Lashley did to Dean Ambrose last week, who'd be dumb enough to team up with those fools? I don't know, Leo, but most likely someone better than you.
Come on, man.
Well, it was. Oh, then your boy, a.k.a. Lashley, not Leo. I meant
Leo.
Natalya comes out and congratulates Becky and says she's proud of her, Ronda, and Charlotte as main eventing Mania. Natalya says she's the best there is, was, and ever will be, and she's coming after the Raw Championship. Becky says she spent many years in the trenches as an overlooked, underappreciated wrestler, just like and with Natalya. Becky says Natalya helped build the revolution, and it would be a pleasure, but then Lacey interrupts. She calls Natalya a classless has-been and tells them that they're both nasties. Lacey says she's officially a Raw member and wants the title, and she says, per the McMahons, they made a number 1 contenders match tonight between Natalya and Lacey. She tells Becky to watch as a man can learn a thing or two from a lady. I thought this was an awesome promo.
Very much so. As is most of what Lacey Evans does.
Natalya looks in a sharpshooter, and Graves says, I wouldn't do that in Montreal, which made me laugh pretty hard.
Yeah.
Lacey escapes and goes outside. She comes back in and hits the woman's right, then a turnbuckle jumping moonsault for the win. The beginning of this match was meh, but the end was kind of good. 3 hours of seeing 70% rest holds gets boring. I still want to see the lady versus the man, though.
Yeah.
Segment 13. Charlie asks about the third member of Roman and Seth's team. Roman says she has to wait like everybody else. Seth says life is good for them as he's riding high on his title win. Roman is back and better than ever. Seth says it may be their last match on Raw, and Reigns says no matter what, they're tearing down Montreal tonight. We get a vignette of a dollhouse, a wooden rocking horse, and a female ventriloquist doll laughing mechanically. Creepier than the buzzard. I'm guessing the rocking female doll is a representation of Sister Abigail, which would be interesting if he comes back with a female Sister Abigail, either wrestler or manager. Segment 14, the main event. The heels come out first.
Nikki Cross.
That'd be interesting.
Very.
But people already know her.
Yeah, that's true. But they could have her be possessed by Bray Wyatt. They've done that before.
That'd be pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
The main event, the heels come out first. The announcer lists off all of Baron Corbin's accolades, including Montreal's favorite son, which I found humorous. Seth and Roman come down. It's finally time to see who their partner is.
It's weird how every country loves him just as much as we do.
Yeah.
He's everyone's favorite son.
He's simply phenomenal. AJ Styles is back on the Raw brand. This was a really exciting match. AJ sold the Claymore kick like no one else. The end came when Seth hit a stomp to Lashley as he tried to pin AJ, then a spear from Roman, and finally a phenomenal forearm gave the faces a win. This episode of Raw gets a solid B for me. The Bray Wyatt vignettes are getting creepier. Sammy was next level, and most of the matches were good, especially Balor versus Andrade and the main event.
So that means with the Superstar Shakeup officially on Raw, we have AJ, Lacey Evans,
Eric Young,
the Usos,
Naomi, Andrade and Zelina,
and Rey Mysterio.
So
Raw got a pretty good set of superstars with the shakeup.
Yep.
And SmackDown did as well. We're going to get into SmackDown right now.
Now, there was some hype from Monday into Tuesday. Vince McMahon was saying that the biggest acquisition in the history of SmackDown would be made on Tuesday night, which is tonight.
Yep.
So the show starts off with the Kevin Owens show.
Which was an amazing opening segment. It was fantastic.
Yeah, he says the crowd goes nuts for him. And unlike Sammy, he's a face now, or a tweener, and embraced the adulation.
He's pretty much full on face.
Yeah.
Especially with what happened on SmackDown tonight.
Yeah. He says McMahon is coming out later for the biggest signing to SmackDown history, but we all know the biggest signing is already here, Kevin Owens. KO then introduces his guest, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Owens congratulates him, and Kofi says thanks to everyone. Owens asks where Big E is, and Xavier says he got injured last week in their match. Xavier loses his mind about up, down, down roster, moving half of them moving to Raw.
Yep.
Kofi says we have to focus on tonight against Nakamura and Rusev. KO says they need to enlist Big O as a third member tonight. Xavier says there's pancake throwing, cereal testing, and a lot of groinal movement, and asks if Owens is up to the task. Owens gyrates. You're damn right I can swivel my hips. Owens puts on a crop top version of the T-shirt and a unicorn horn, and they all start dancing.
He was adorned with the unicorn horn.
Yes.
He went down to one knee and
he was knighted as a unicorn.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. Then we see Cesaro in the back asking Nakamura and Rusev to be their partner, and they accept. The Intercontinental Champion, Finn Balor, is now on SmackDown, and he faced Mustafa Ali. Glad to have Finn on SmackDown because there's more guys his size, especially champion Kofi Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
Really good back and forth match. The end comes when Ali hits a Hurricane Rana off the top, but misses the 450, and Balor follows with a shotgun dropkick and a coup de grace for the win. They shake hands as Balor soaks in the cheers. I think Finn Balor will flourish on SmackDown.
Very much so.
Kofi and
we're going to get him and Shinsuke again. I want to see way more of him and Ali. Him versus Kofi, him versus
someone else that was announced tonight.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to.
There's so much more potential for him.
Cesaro. Yeah. Kofi and Xavier find Owens backstage and ask if he's ready for the initiation. He has to eat all these pancakes and beat Big E's time of 5 minutes and 30-some seconds.
Yeah.
Owens says he never ate a pancake in his life, but decides to go on and try.
Yeah, no syrup either.
He does. He says they're so dry. He does beat Big E's time, is an honorary member of New Day.
He then asked for water and almost died. But he was able to swallow the pancakes and said, I'm good. Let's go.
R-Truth and Carmella come out. Carmella takes on Charlotte Flair and has a lot of decent offense, like a super kick and a splash off the barricade, but Flair taps Carmella out with the figure 8. This match was okay. Nothing really to write home about. Afterwards, Lars Sullivan comes out and takes some offense from Truth, but laughs it off. Lars hits the freak accident on Truth. Then he stares at Carmella, but the ref pulls her out of the ring. Lars then hits a Liger bomb on Truth. Legend killer. Lars is officially on SmackDown. Becky comes out to a huge applause. Ember Moon comes out and says she's on SmackDown Live. She's out here to make a name for herself, and what better way than against the current champion. Bayley comes out and announces she's on SmackDown Live, and the crowd boos her heinously.
Yeah, the whole time she was talking.
She says she's a singles competitor now and is eyeing those titles. The Iconics show up. Hey, Bayley, we took your belts, which was funny. Paige comes out and then introduces her tag team, but is interrupted by Sonya and Mandy. Paige finally introduces the team she's representing and says will be the new tag champs, Asuka and newly acquired to SmackDown, Kairi Sane.
Hell yes.
All of them brawl as Becky exits the ring. What an entertaining clusterfuck. I guess Lacey got the night off. There was an 8-woman tag match. Yeah, 8-woman tag match of all of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she's been following Becky wherever she goes.
Yeah.
An 8-woman tag match ensues. Kairi wins with an insane elbow on Peyton. Buddy Murphy announces he's on SmackDown Live, who I would love to see against Finn Balor and Cesaro and whoever else. In the 6-man tag match, it ends whenever Rusev goes for a Machka kick. Xavier catches it. He gets hit with a Trouble in Paradise from Kofi and a stunner from Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens wins the match. And the New Day celebrate.
They were calling them the branded New Day.
Yeah. It was a pretty good match. I didn't write out everything for it. If you want to, you can go on to online sources and read everything, or go watch it on Hulu tomorrow or download it. I wasn't going to write out every little part.
Watch it on DVR if you have that.
Right. Vince comes out, says this man is the future of not only SmackDown, but of all WWE. He's tough and exudes charisma. He introduces Elias. Elias says Vince knows what WWE stands for and says thank you, and that he has the pulse. He has his finger on the pulse of what the crowd really wants. Elias starts doing his thing, says the word Reigns, and of course, Roman Reigns comes out as a new SmackDown superstar. Roman Superman punches Elias. Vince talks some shit and tells him to go to the back, and Roman Superman punches Vince. Yeah. Roman says SmackDown Live is my yard now. He walks up the ramp, runs back down, and spears Elias to end the show.
So is Roman for me?
SmackDown for me gets a B+. Yeah. No, he's just a badass.
Yeah. But Roman is on SmackDown, which means
Seth is safe.
Seth is safe.
Seth is safe. Yeah, so on SmackDown, we have Finn Balor, Buddy Murphy, Bayley, Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, Roman Reigns, Elias. I think that's it.
Did you say Buddy Murphy?
Lars Sullivan is
Lars
officially
Sullivan.
SmackDown.
Yeah. He was on the SmackDown graphic, so that's official, I guess.
Yes, I did say Buddy Murphy.
But yeah, putting the shows aside, all the roster moves are
Pretty good.
Pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that Samoa Joe ends up on Raw because
I think he will, because he was, like I said, he was supposed to have a segment on Raw.
Yeah, because otherwise both mid-card titles will be on SmackDown, and
that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
But all the roster moves pretty logical to me.
Yep. I think some of them we called.
Yeah, I called Elias to SmackDown.
Yeah, because you said he never has been moved.
And Roman never really has either.
So
that's a good move, too.
Yeah, we got a piece of news this morning that Luke Harper made a Twitter statement thanking the WWE, saying that he is proud of what he did and made a lot of friends and family along the way.
Yeah.
But he is asking for his release from WWE. If Luke Harper gets his release, where do you want to see him? Who do you want to see him against?
Well, I think the obvious thing to say is, being as how it is the new hotness in the world of professional wrestling, whenever somebody asks for a release or is suddenly released from a major contract with a big promotion, you have to think that they're at least looking towards All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's the new thing that everybody's talking about.
Well, Luke Harper was back from injury for like 4 months and not used.
He had that great match against Dijakovic, and I think he was happy with that as his last ride.
Yeah.
So, I think if he was to go to Impact, I would very much like to see Luke Harper versus Brian Cage.
I would very much like to see Luke Harper versus Sami Callihan.
Yes.
I would like to see Luke Harper versus Brody King.
In Ring of Honor. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And PCO.
Or maybe even Joinville and Enterprises.
Yeah. I would, if he went to AEW, I would like to see him against Pentagon, Jericho. Yeah, if he did New Japan, I'd like to see him against Ishii.
I think
what's his name? Lance
Archer.
Yeah.
David Boy Jr.
Yeah, and Goto,
ZSJ.
like the never open weight guys.
Yeah.
He could go back to he made a big name in Dragon Gate USA, so he could potentially go wherever Pac goes. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're really tight or not, but
if he was to go to Japan, he might be a good fit for the Cutthroat era.
Oh hell yeah!
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell yeah!
He could be a new big guy for them. Team up with
Jay.
Fale.
Yeah. He could be Jay White's personal bodyguard or something. Yeah.
He is very good at playing a henchman. We know that.
Right.
Sad to see him go. But
I agree.
Especially
with Bray coming back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it does seem like it was his personal decision.
Right. So with that, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one. Peace and love to all of you. Bang!